Hello everybody, Jam here, and welcome to the Sonoma round of the Vision Gaming Network Early DTM series, where I messed up qualifying. As you can see on the screen, I'm starting dead last. I didn't get a clean one in the 3 flying laps I had in qualifying, so this is my punishment. It also wasn't a very good quick lap, so I'm not as gutted as I perhaps could have been if I'd done a really quick dirty lap, but it's just one of the things, it happens every so often. Fortunately, not too often for me. I can only really think of one other example of me doing so. But yeah, no, I mean, we have reverse grid races and stuff in this series, so it's just an addition to that, really. I'm taking it nice and easy at the start, as you might expect. Because, again, we might have reverse grid races, but normally that's, if you're starting at the back, you're surrounded by all the other people that finished at the front. And when it's just you at the back, it perhaps might be a little bit more chaotic, as we see there. Incidents all ahead, and without really having to do anything. I think Stick's pulled off to the right, actually, but I'm up past the 2 AMS boys as well. Both of whom are a bit of an enigma to me in this series. They were phenomenally fast at Catalunya, especially Takeshi, I think it was. I was talking about lap times with him, and it was bonkers. And then other rounds, like here, you see them at the back of the grid. It's... yeah. But on to one of the DOR chaps now, as we try and get past Lucky Sod. Had a move into the hairpin, but he held it around the outside and managed to pull away on the exit. It's a very nice corner, that one. I do like it. I'm a big fan of corners that sort of, or tracks that go left and then right and then left and then right, because it really sort of extends the good racing. Just because I went up the inside of the hairpin didn't mean I was automatically past it, because it kinked back round to the left on the exit and gave him the high ground. But we're back into the same corner that I was just talking about. And Lucky does go for the inside on someone else this time, hits the back of Rally Cap. I've managed to pounce around the outside, and again, because it kinks back to the left on the exit, I was able to make it stick. I know that it was obviously because he was hindered through having to slow down and hit in his contact, but if that was a standard corner that just went straight on the exit, I still don't think I would have quite managed to have the drive to beat him to the next section of corners. And we're up behind Rally Cap now. He starts to defend the inside into a different hairpin that doesn't... actually, it does again. Not quite as early on, but a little bit later on down the track, it kinks back round to the left. So I'm round the outside, but I've managed to keep him side by side. And as we kink back round to the left and head over the start-finish line, I've got the inside line. And again, I'm on the inside round into turn 1. But if Rally Cap can keep it there, which unfortunately he can't, it kinks back round to the right again. So anyway, that was another position for me, and we're jumping a couple of laps later. And we're up behind GTR Vision. Again, same section of the track. Cuts back to the right, and there's half a gap there, wasn't there? I was going for that gap before I knew it even existed. All over the curb, just about on the track. There's lots of contact as we again flick round to the left, round to the right, up over the crest. I do enjoy this track. I'm not always the quickest here. I don't always have the best races. I don't always do very well in qualifying, but I do like this track, especially this layout. It's the big horseshoe bit in the middle sector. It kind of breaks up the flow for it, for me, in some regards. What also will break up your flow is being re-overtaken by Vision up the inside of the hairpin, and this time he made it stick on as a good enough exit, and he was the first one into the S's. So we're into turn 1 again, and again I'm going for that. He just doesn't quite hit the apex there. This is the very next lap as well. So 2 laps in a row, he's left a similar gap there, and I've gone for it both times. This time I haven't quite got the run that I had before, so I've set up a little bit differently as we come over the crest and down towards the first, or down towards, it's not the first of 2 90-degree corners, is it? It's 1 90-degree corner and then a hairpin. But yeah, up the inside of that one, and then the inside again into the hairpin, running him a little bit deep this time, so he hopefully can't get the good run on the outside line. He tried to go for a cutback, I think, because he wasn't really there as I ran deep. But that was the position for me. And there's 2 more positions for me as a couple of BMWs take each other off. Cheers, chaps. It's always unfortunate when you see that happening, but when you benefit from it, can't complain. So we're jumping all the way forward onto lap 10 now, and we're up behind Flex in his Alpha. And once again, it's that turn 2. I don't know if I called it turn 1 earlier. I might have done. In my head, I've been calling that one turn 1. Anyway, side by side through the first section, and it's a very similar move that I tried and failed and tried again to pull off on Vision. But it looks like it's worked this time on Flex, although that is not a very good run around the 90-degree right. And Flex is cut back to the inside for the hairpin. So I'm going to try and do what I've done before and hang it around the outside, try and get the better run. You can see there I am pulling back alongside a bit more, but that Alpha's got such good corner exits and it's very good under acceleration. And Flex just beats me into the S's. Hopefully we can get a cut back here. We're a little bit side by side on a wider line. You don't really want to be side by side through this section, so there I just lift up a little bit early, try and set up for a good run down towards the hairpin, but I didn't quite nail that right-hander. So we have to wait and live another day, and that's a big dive into the hairpin up the inside. Can we get the exit this time? Trying to squeeze him so he has to go over that bump on the curb, try and hinder his run. I'm not quite neck and neck, I'm still a little bit behind. He's got his nose ahead, but I'm still there, and just have to back out as we go around the right hand kink, as there was the gap was very much shrinking, that's for sure. Can we get a better run through this corner this time? It doesn't look like Flex has had the best of runs. Mine wasn't fantastic, but it was good enough to get a bit of a run. Flex has gone very defensive, so once again I just fly for the outside. There's a little bit of contact as we turn in. And Flex is clear as we exit. I was hoping to try and get the run on him. And yeah, I mean that Alpha, as I've said earlier, very good under acceleration. Just trying to cut back around the kink. Oh, okay, round the outside at turn 1. Got the inside for turn 2 again. We've been used to taking the inside for turn 2, but not quite in that fashion. Usually from a lot further back, and we're still side by side as we head left up the hill now. Side by side contact again, as we've had many times when we're going side by side with people. Giving Flex plenty of room on the left. It's a drag race down towards a 90-degree right-hander. Can I do it better than I did last time I was in front of him? Yes, I can. That's more like it. Not flying out and having to avoid the wall. Apparently, that was it for that first race. Got past Flex, and I think Flex must have made a mistake, actually, because it's now not him behind me, is it? So, yeah, 15th to 5th after bottling qualifying. Can't complain. Pretty decent race. Pretty fun one as well. So there are your full top 10 results. No surprise who's at the top. I think Bobby had an incident. I'm not sure. I think he had to go through the pits. Was that race? Where did he start? He finished 10th, which puts him on pole for this one. This reverse top 10 race, which sees me start 6th. Yeah. Not quite sure about that. Bobby might tell you, if you ask him nicely. So let's see how I get away from the line now I'm well and truly buried in the pack. Now, Flex up ahead. The Alphas, we know, don't start very well, but you kink to the left very quickly here, and you can't really make the most of the launch from too far back. Vision's got past him. I'm trying to sneak up the inside through turn 2. Can I make it stick as well? We're still side by side. We're still side by side. How many times have we been side by side through this section? I swear it's a common theme in my videos. I always seem to make my overtakes in the same place, and it's not always the same place you'd expect. We're still side by side now, going down towards the 90-degree right. Can I make this move stick on Flex? I can start seeing the back of his car in the mirror. So he's nearly tucked in behind him, doing defensive into the hairpin. I've run a little bit deep, actually. There's a little bit of contact between his front and my rear. But no, there he is in the mirror. And that is P5 for me. Trying to make it P4 now. Looking up the inside of Vision into the hairpin. Careful not to run into the back of Martin. Sporting a new paint job this week, as he's returned to SVR since the last round. And, oh, crikey, we need to pay more attention to GTR Vision, though, who's, I thought I'd got the move done up the inside of the hairpin, but no. There he is. Great fight back from Vision there. Can we do the same move we've been doing all day? Up the inside at turn 2. Little bit wider than I would expect, and caused a bit of contact towards the exit. Perhaps I was feeling a bit more bullish at this point, trying to get the move done earlier so he wasn't side by side, up and over the crest, and that is P4 for me. So up behind Martin now on lap 3, remembering there is a pit stop in this race. I didn't feel like attacking, so I wanted to go into the pits, but Martin didn't feel like defending, so he went into the pits, and then I thought, well, if he's going into the pits, I better stay out. But that all happened a lot quicker than I could explain it. And I very nearly missed the hairpin. But fortunately I didn't, and I didn't crash into anyone or anything either. So that is P3 for me. Now, Rally Cap seems to have gone a little bit wide on the exit there, and he's not carried out on the wide line, and as he's tried to squeeze me off on tight on the exit, we've made contact, and I've flown to the right to try and give him plenty of room. And yeah, so there was a funny one, that one, but it has ended up in me taking second position. Around the final corner. Well, I call this one the final corner because the left kink's not really a corner much, is it? I suppose technically it is the penultimate corner. Anyway, as we rounded that hairpin, the leader was in the pits. I think that was still Bobby, so that is now into first for me. And we're all the way onto lap 11 now because I had quite a bit of clean air. And we've got BP Solo right behind me as I feign going into the pits ever slightly. And I decide to stay out as he dives in. Very sensible of the pair of us to split the strategy. Now, Solo was catching me at a rate of knots. So I thought my normal plan would have been with free air to go to the end. But Solo is someone I know's got more pace than me. So I thought if I can just do a one-lap overcut, maybe stay in front of him, despite him having more pace. But somehow, I don't quite know how, but it's worked. Solo was right up behind me. I think he might have got caught up with Martin. Remember, Martin was right in front of me when he went into the pits, and Solo was right behind me when he went into the pits. So it was a very tight battle between the three of us, potentially. And I think those two might have got caught up on each other. And speaking of two other cars, there's two in the pits, P3 for me, as we go on to the final lap. So, yep, still not a lot happening for me. Solo, and I'm assuming it's Martin. I can't actually confirm that, but that's my guess of what happened and why I was able to jump or stay ahead of Solo under the pit cycle. Excuse me, frog in my throat there. But yeah, podium. That's not bad when you mess up quali. Get into a decent place in the top 10, take advantage of the reverse grid. Bobby, unsurprisingly, winning from pole after his incident in the first race. And William Zoom, again, it's just that man just doesn't surprise me. He's just an alien. And I mean, when you're a Forza RC driver, that's what you expect, really. So, time for the third and final race of this video, the full reverse grid, where I will be starting in P12, which is, of course, 3 places higher than I started in the first race, because of my bad qualifying. I promise I won't mention it again. Actually, no I don't. So, off the line, and we are indeed alongside an Alpha, and despite it kinking back round to the left here, off the line, we can still get a better launch and try and beat him to the kink, especially from further back on the grid, but I don't know quite what I was doing there. My line was a bit rubbish. Someone's had a bit of an incident, and someone's flown off to the left there. Martin didn't have the best of exits, and I hit the rear of him and then tried to pull alongside him. Solo's, he's gone. Vision's had a little bit of a moment. He's all offline. Martin's appeared down the left-hand side. Then William Zoom flies out of nowhere and gets round Vision and me on the left-hand side, where I was patiently waiting to get up the right-hand side. Late under brakes, and I've given Zoom a bit of a tap there, but I think I seemed more affected by it than he did. And we're side by side with Vision as we enter the hairpin for the first time. Martin's had a big issue with a little bit of a contact, potentially causing half a sim twitch, which he, if it was a sim twitch, he did well to save that. I would have ended up backwards, as we saw last week. Wait, was Catalonia last week? As we saw at Catalonia. I don't know when it was. I'm no good at keeping track of these things. Someone's off on the left-hand side there. So we're already gone from 12th to 9th on this first lap. Largely due to just other people having issues. And as we head into the hairpin for the first time, that's the second time I said that, but it's a different hairpin. A couple of cars had a bit of an issue and were, I thought, in the barrier. I didn't quite realise that Solo was still there on my left-hand side, so I was setting up to try and get a good run on Rally Cap. Nope, there's Solo, and that's really hindered my run, and I've now got Vision behind me, but Solo, look at him, I was too far on the left, hits the tyre barrier, and flies into my car. And, yeah, that was, I think, whoever it was that was alongside me, I can't even remember at this point, I think it might have been Lucky Still. Yeah, 3 of us, all with a lot of damage, so as you can see, people are not really jumping to fly past me, and here's the train of cars. We are having a safety car, and they are letting me through to try and hobble back to the pits. But there is your damage. That's what happens when you hit a car that's bounced backwards into you at full pelt. There is Solo, the car that bounced backward into me. But yeah, 100% damage just about everywhere. So away we go for the safety car restart, and it's back to 14th place. Start of lap 4, and we are starting again. Not a great restart from Vision, not a brilliant restart from me as Solo. Well, we both escaped past Vision as he made a really bad mistake. I made a half bad mistake, and Solo has got past me as well. So still P14, just with a bit of a shuffle in the opening few corners. So on to lap 5 now. Again, quite near the start of the lap. Solo's going for the move as Fishdog does pretty much the same as Vision on the last lap and allows both of us through. So that's P13. Lucky for me. And what did I tell you earlier? It's always the same place. this first section between here and the 90-degree right-hander. This is where all the action's happening. Solo's up the inside of Kenpachi. I try and follow through again for the third lap running, but there's Freebie over on the left, takes too much curb and bounces across into my path and allows Kenpachi, or nearly allows Kenpachi to clear me. Not before I have a moment and tag his rear end though. And we're just going to stay on board though, because it's all going to stay nice and tasty. Nice and toasty. That's me saying tasty with a... Oh, you know what my commentary's like. If you're expecting better, go somewhere else. We're up the inside of Kenpachi at the hairpin though. As expected, he gets a good run as it kinks back round to the left. Anyone would think I've got a left kink watching this video. Oh, we've got to the stage where I don't know what I'm talking about again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're enjoying the video. Where are we? P12, lap 6. We're past Kenpachi, got past him at the hairpin. We're up behind Freebie, into the hairpin, and he's braked a lot earlier than I anticipated. That wasn't an intentional dive bomb. That was a, oh crap, I've braked a lot later than him. I can't just run into the back of him. Do I go left or do I go right? Let's go right and make the overtake. I mean, it looks brilliant when you just don't tell people that it wasn't intentional. Yeah. So where are we now? That was the end of lap 6, wasn't it? So a couple of laps later, lap 8, up past Rally into the other hairpin. A little bit less of a hairpin because you kick back round to the left a lot sooner. Effectively a 90-degree corner if you look at the track map, but it feels like a hairpin when you're driving it. So that was lap 8, on to lap 9, up behind Martin. We've been here before, but there's no pit stop in this race, so he does defend this time, and I do attack, trying to go round the outside, taking a slightly different approach this time though. Instead of going to hang it around the outside, I went for the cutback to try and get a good run down towards turn 1. As we know, all the moves are being made at turn 1 and turn 2 today. Not quite really got the best run, obviously, when they're in equal machinery, and we've very much evened out. A little bit of contact as we're going through turn 1. I was set up to try and do my good exit. Hasn't quite worked, but we do get alongside, just a bit later than usual. And we're still going to go side by side round the left-hander and over the crest. Hit my curb. I think there might have been a tiny bit of contact there. I've not really given him as much room as I perhaps should have, and have been managing to when I've had people on my outside there before. But, you know, I'll take it. I'm already on a recovery drive. After the incident in... Oh, Flex has had a mistake and came back across the track a lot more than I expected him to, and I didn't know which way to go. Eventually up the inside, but completely overshot. I've smacked the wall on the exit. Martin wants to get involved now as well. I'm still sort of side by side with Flex. There's a little bit of contact there as I didn't want to hit the wall on my inside. I'd rather hit him. And we're going to still be on the inside into turn 1. This gives me around the outside of turn 2. I don't do the outside of turn 2. I do the inside of turn 2. But if you looked at that, you'd think I did do the outside of turn 2 because I've made it stick there regardless. Inside, outside, whichever side will take your place. Thank you very much, Flex. See you later. And he's made a mistake in my mirror there as well, allowing Martin through. Where are we? Someone's had an issue on the start-finish line. I think that was Sticks again. I barely even saw that. So, where are we? That was lap 13. This is now lap 14. Up behind Jubba. Good run through the right hand. Very fast, very demanding corner. He hasn't defended to the inside, so I'm going to slide one up to the apex. Nice and tight to the curbing. Accelerate out. That's just as bog standard overtakes get. And very nicely done on the penultimate lap. And now look at all that real estate in front of me. Plenty of clean air. So we're not going to see anything else in this race. That's the final lap of the final race of the video. And it's P6. And once again, you have the full top 10 on your screen for you to admire. So not bad. Considering I started last after bottling qualifying. Told you I wouldn't promise I'd mention it again. And there are your full results. So yeah, I started 15th. That was a very bad quali. But 5th, 3rd and 6th. It's now to be sniffed at, really, is it? I mean, the two RZM boys and Zoom and Solo both outscored me, but they didn't bottle qualifying. But I am still top of the driver standings. So, one round left in this one. Going to Sebring Club on Monday. And that's my points lead. And that's the team standings. OGs and Rise Motorsport have now been added to the standings. So that lovely lead that we had over CCX, not there anymore. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.